So today, I'm here with Siren for an interview. How are you, dear?
Salutations. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. As you know, it's been a long day, but I'm so happy and excited to be doing this interview with you. So, tell me, Siren, what is it you do? Well, I know you're a voice actress, but how'd you get into the business?
So, I've been fascinated by voice acting ever since I was a very young girl and I started watching cartoons and then later on started watching like anime and things like that. And especially as I learned more about the behind the scenes stuff, it fascinated me how so many different voices could come from one person and how they could like breathe life into these characters.
And so that inspired you to take this up yourself.
It did. Um, it was a major step for me just to prove to myself that I could do it because I am terribly, terribly shy. And you've got to be like the opposite of shy in order to like put your voice and put your work out there.
Very true. Very true. And it's very admirable you doing this, putting yourself out there like that and pursuing your dream. But I'm curious, when did you get started?
Ah, right around probably the mid to beginning of this year, my first kind of start to all this. I joined the behind the voice actors. I believe it was around February. Behind the voice actors and started auditioning, and it was quite nice. I got some positive feedback right off, and then I decided that I wanted to actually make something of this. So I saved up and I got a proper microphone in AT 2020 and got myself a sound set up and all of that. And then I actually know Electro Dolly, who's a fantastic voice actress. She got me an invite here, and then I started talking to Ivan and Silky and got to know everybody, and well, here I am.
Well, here you are. Now I'm curious though, what made you switch from safe to work to not safe for work?
It was just a way to really push myself, like to prove that I'm more than my shyness. Like for me, this was the ultimate step out of my comfort zone.
Ah, so you're not entirely used to the, I guess the way to put it is the world of lewd.
No, 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 not at all.
Ah, fascinating.
If that wasn't garnered by me asking what inflation was during the stream earlier.
To be fair, I didn't know what it was either.
Did you not?
I didn't.
At least I'm not the only one.
No, you're not alone. It's a lot to learn. It's a lot to learn, and you learn people, they're into some weird stuff. Not judging though, long you're not hurting anyone else. So tell me, what do you do to practice? Like when you're getting into a role for voice acting, how do you relax your voice, prepare your voice?
I kind of go with the cliche standby of a nice cup of tea with a little bit of honey.
Sounds good. I wouldn't call that cliche at all.
And if I really, really want to get myself like nice and relaxed, then I'll have a bath because that's. I know it's going to sound ridiculous with me having the name Siren and all, but I feel most comfortable in the water. So if you ask anybody that really knows me, I spend about 70 to 80% of my free time in the bathtub.
I understand completely. I relate. Hard. Nice warm bath, I'm assuming, eh?
Unless it's during the summer, then it's a cold bath.
I see. What do you think about your fellow voice actors and actresses in this business?
Everyone's been really nice so far, really encouraging. I've not really had any put downs from either of them.
Have you gained any advice, any insight in how to improve your own work?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And in fact, Chimera, the creator that I most recently worked with, is also trying his best to kind of like help me get myself out there more, and has offered to commission me more in the future.
Oh, that's wonderful! That's wonderful! So, there will be a link to Chimera 46's work starring Siren in the description and in the comment section down below for all of you who are interested. So, I'm curious, Siren. I'm curious. How far do you want to take voice acting? Do you want this to be your dream job, your passion, what you do for the rest of your life?
I would love that. The only thing is, I'm scared of something, like working with something that I really am passionate about. I don't want it to become just another be over and done with it job.
How so? What do you mean?
Like with my drawing, with my voice acting, with anything that I truly enjoy doing, I never want to do something just to, do it. I always want to give it my all. I always want to be 100% passionate about it. I just don't ever want it to become dull, like, oh, another day of this.
Understandable. Totally understandable. I get that. I totally get that. So, I'm curious now, are there any particular roles or characters that you really want to voice for?
I kind of tend to waver between two types of character that I get cast for, and that's either someone who's super shy, or, and this is a conundrum even to me, the seductive character. Like, it's not an NSFW project, but it's a fan-made Fire Emblem project where I play Camilla, and she's got quite some cheeky lines.
Well, your name is Siren, so I kind of comes with the territory, I would assume.
I know.
Oh, man. So, I'm curious, like, what is your equipment? What do you use to voice record to get the best quality?
Like I said, I've got an AT2020 as a mic, and a Behringer Euphoria.
Are you looking to upgrade, or is this the best you think you could possibly use for the job?
I think I'll probably stick to this microphone. I might upgrade from the Euphoria. It's just kind of like figuring out what works for me as far as microphone gain and such like that. But I definitely want to upgrade my recording space as more of a blanket fort.
I get that. I get that. So, tell me, what do you think you want to invest more time into? Safe for work or not safe for work? Like, well, I don't mean to sound disparaging, but, like, do you have a preference?
I'm more comfortable with safe for work, but not safe for work really challenges me. So probably, if I get the chance, more NSFW stuff.
Ah, I see. I see. So tell me, where do you look for inspiration in doing the not safe for work stuff? Like, what's your reference point for that?
I thankfully have a theatre background, so I can rely a lot on improvisation. The project with Chimera was in fact almost completely improvised. Like, he gave me a vague idea of the script and what he wanted me to play off of. And the concept was basically an outer dialogue and an inner dialogue where I would be kind of exasperated in the inner dialogue and had to come up with funny things to say internally while I was in the midst of this foot job. And I didn't know what my male counterpart in the video was going to be saying at the time either. So it was all pretty much completely off the top of our heads.
How do you feel about that type of work progress?
I do like improv. It's a lot of fun. It's also usually involves some kind of embarrassing research because I didn't really know anything about foot fetishes.
So tell me, Siren, because now I'm very curious, what do you do as a point of reference to get in the sort of mood for the not safe for work side of voice acting?
I have to make myself relax. Like, I can't let the shyness overwhelm me, or I'll just be stuttering and sounding ridiculous throughout the whole thing. I've talked a lot with Silky and Ivan about, kind of like centering myself, and they've helped me with practice readings and so on and so forth.
I expect nothing less from them, being the angels that they are.
No, like, Ivan is determined to get me out of my shell.
Good on him. Good on him. Good man. Good man. And I can safely say you've come a long way, eh?
I would like to think so. I mean, I can mostly talk to people now. Like, before, in a big group like that, I probably would have been completely silent.
Well, you did a bang-up job. You did a damn good job, I must say.
Yeah, but now everyone's seen my dark side.
Dark side? I wouldn't call that dark. I call that playful.
Clearly you weren't hearing Rose's reaction to my card choices.
For reference, dear audience, we played Cards Against Humanity earlier. It was very fun. All right. So, how about enough work questions? I ask you some personal questions and we get to know you a bit more, if that's all right.
Sure.
What are some of your favorite hobbies, Siren?
I love drawing. I love painting, particularly digital art, but nothing quite beats paint all over your hands and somehow on your face and somehow in your hair, and you forget to open a window so the room's not properly ventilated and you're lightheaded for painting for 4 hours straight.
Sounds like fun. Sounds like an afternoon.
Really just anything where I can, kind of use my hands and really get into it, like crafting with clay, making jewelry.
Is there any particular style you prefer? Like any particular, I'm assuming like something, well, I don't know really. What do you prefer? Like what do you prefer to craft? Like animals, pottery, environments?
It is fun crafting tiny animals, although I've been told that every time I try, they come out looking like Pokemon.
I consider that a compliment. So what do you paint? What do you paint? What do you usually paint? So you make sculptures of Pokemon, except not really Pokemon, pseudo-Pokemon. But what do you prefer to paint?
From time to time, I paint on canvases, but I really like painting on wood. Like, I'll find miscellaneous wooden objects and just give them a bit of new life. My dad had a God, what's the word? I'm going blank. Do you know what a growler is?
It sounds familiar. Sounds familiar.
Like, in terms of alcohol holders.
Oh, yes. In that case, yes, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, it was like a wooden carrying thing that was for his set of growlers, and he wanted me to paint it. And that was really the first, like, painting venture that I really threw myself into. And from there on, it was stuff like glassware, jewelry boxes, photo frames, really just anything I could find.
Curious. So, what exactly, like, again, I'm sorry if I misworded this earlier. What exactly, like, kind of style do you draw in? Do you like a flowery style, water painting? Like, how exactly, what is your artistic style?
I'd say my style definitely leans towards the more watercolor style. Like, you could tell by my Discord avatar right now, I don't like a lot of harsh lines. I kind of like the lines to be implied. And you can see that in kind of all my work, as it's very, very soft, I guess is the way to put it.
What's your inspiration for this style?
It's going to sound really stupid.
No such thing.
I've always been a very skeptical, cynical human being. According to my mom, I grew up way too fast. and I've always seen the world in kind of this harsh light. So when I was making the world myself through my paintings and my drawings, it was soft.
Oh, jeez. That's poetic. That's beautiful.
It sounds really dumb when I say it out loud.
It does not! Not at all! That's inspirational! So tell me, are there any particular paintings that you're very proud of?
Well, actually, some of my drawings I have tattooed on myself.
Oh, man, that is awesome! That is badass.
I have 2 of my drawings actually tattooed on either forearm.
Let me ask you this, though. Okay, so we know you have a passion for painting, and you have a passion for voice acting. Tell me, what do you watch? What do you do in your free time? Like, whatever hobbies do you have? Do you play sports, watch movies, television, video games?
I play video games and binge on horror films.
Oh, God, you are a treasure. Do tell more.
Well, I grew up watching the old Vincent Price horror films. Like, one of my favorites will always be the old cheesy black and white House on Haunted Hill, skeleton on wires.
How are you so perfect? Oh my goodness.
I adored that film as a child. I would watch it all the time.
Any others?
I don't know if this technically counts as a horror film, but one of the first R-rated movies I can ever remember watching when I was little was Blade.
I think that can count as a horror film.
But by far one of my favorite all-time sci-fi horror films will be Aliens, and the original Alien.
Oh, I adore you. I adore you so much. Oh, do tell more. Do tell more. Why do you love him?
Ripley's just such a badass. Oh, sorry, am I allowed to swear on your interview?
Oh, you've never watched any of my interviews. Like, swear up a storm. Say whatever you want.
The other thing that I don't like about Alien is I don't like the facehuggers because they remind me of spiders.
That's fair. That's fair.
And I am terribly arachnophobic.
So are many people. So are many people. Again, that's fair. That's understandable.
But yeah, I adore horror films, Event Horizon.
Oh my goodness! Yes! Yes!
And then later on, Dead Space, which is partially inspired by Event Horizon, became one of my favorite video games.
Oh my god! Yes! I love you so much! Yes!
You're making me turn red, and I can't entirely blame the alcohol on it.
I'm sorry. Maybe it's my inner Canadian coming out too strong. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
But you like Dead Space! Oh, that's so great!
I do. I remember the first time I played it, I was literally inching down the corridors. I was so scared. And let this be a lesson learned to anyone who ever plays this game. Do not try to cheat, because bad things will happen to you. I thought I could avoid one particularly nasty, horrible thing that stalks you throughout the second half of the game by finding some navigational keycards before the cutscene started. And it was fine at first, but then I got stuck somewhere, and the second I stepped out of safety, it dropped down from a vent right next to me, and I was so scared that I turned off the game on the spot.
Oh man, I wish that was recorded. I would have loved to see that.
I did actually used to stream horror games on Twitch, but that was ages ago.
Aw, that's great! Consider ever doing that again?
Possibly, now that I've got a better mic set up and everything, but
Ooh.
I tend to... I do get scared, but when I get scared, I swear a lot.
Yeah, I relate. You're not alone.
Which is kind of ironic, because I used to have a bit of a secondary career scaring people for money.
Okay, you have to share that story. What's that about?
So every year, from late September through October. Where I live has a haunted maze. And I, up until recently, had worked there every year. Now, I'll tell you a story about the first night I ever worked there, and you can't make this shit up, pardon my language. So, I was hiding in my designated spot, and I popped out to scare what turned out to be a mum and her son. And the child was on one of those harness leash things. Well, they took off running, and let's just say I got in between the leash and got caught by it and dragged to the ground.
Oh, shit!
So I basically got clotheslined by a child on a leash. And never lived it down during my entirety of working there.
Oh my god. That's brilliant! That's brilliant! Did you and the child eventually make up?
I never saw the child again.
Oh, that's ominous.
I had a vindictive streak when I was scaring people. Like, I would do some really mean things. Basically, the way you have to get through the maze is there are these plaques that have horror and Halloween related questions on them. And every answer corresponds with a direction. 2 answers would usually be the right direction, and 2 answers would usually be the wrong direction. And I possibly maybe sort of had a slight habit of standing behind the plaques and pretending like I was a mannequin until people got close enough to read them.
Oh, you sneaky devil.
That usually got quite a good scare.
Well, that was your job. You did your job.
Well, see, that was the thing, is people wouldn't notice me until it was too late.
Dun dun dun.
And it's really easy to scare people that way. You don't have to go crazy and make a bunch of loud noise. You just have to be unnoticed until the right moment.
Oh, so you're a master scarer.
I mean, I did grow up watching horror films.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, to switch things up, what are some of your favorite foods, Siren?
Chicken, beef, pulled pork, and cheese.
You're going out of your way to make me fall in love with you. Oh, that is delicious. That sounds delicious. Any particular favorite meals or combinations?
Pulled pork with some properly thick chips that you can dip into barbecue sauce.
Oh, heaven. Absolute heaven. Ooh, what about dessert?
That's a difficult one. Although I do have a weakness, and my mum makes these every year for my birthday, is lemon cookies.
Ooh.
But it's like a proper cakey cookie, not like a biscuit. I mean, it's got a bit of crisp to it, but it doesn't have that snap that a proper biscuit has.
Ah, so your mom's a master chef. To make the cookie just right, just doughy enough? Oh.
She's been making those for ages, and people also, die for her banana pudding.
Including your doggos, I hear in the background.
To be fair, one of them did eat almost an entire bowl of banana pudding because he's big enough that he can put his paws up on the counter.
You mind telling us about your doggos?
I have 3 dogs currently. 2 of them are pit bull mixes, one of them pit bull Labrador, the other pit bull German Shepherd, and a Weimaraner, who is basically the equivalent of a massive hellhound. He's got short black fur with a kind of silvery white undercoat, and these big, big golden eyes, and he always looks really guilty whenever he's done something that he's not supposed to.
Oh, that sounds precious. Just precious. Any funny stories to share with your your little puppers?
I could tell you about the part where one of them threw up on my brother and Mum had to pull the car over because she was laughing so hard.
Feel free.
So Lou, who at this point is our oldest dog, he's a bit of a grumpy old man now, but he was a very hyper puppy. And they were bringing him home from the vet one day because he'd... You know how dogs eat grass when their stomachs are feeling a bit off?
Indeed.
So they'd noticed him eating a lot of grass and they'd taken him to the vet because they thought he had an off stomach. And it turns out he did. Because on the way home, he loosed an eruption of partially digested grass and dog food all over my brother. It got into the cup holder, and my mum said the cup holder was like overflowing with vomit. And my brother is absolutely beside himself. He's screaming, he is swearing, and Mum is laughing so hard that she's tearing up and she has to pull the car over.
What was your reaction?
I politely waited until I was away from my brother to start laughing hysterically. Because it seems like my brother just has bad luck with animals.
Oh!
Before we owned these dogs, he had lizards. He had 2 Bahama Annalee lizards. And they were named Bob and Jeff. Now, Bahama Annalee lizards have very sticky feet. And what happened was, I can't remember if it was Bob or Jeff, but one of them was running along my arm and just like having the time of his life, racing up and down my sweater sleeve. And then my brother walks in, and the lizard takes a flying leap and lands on his forehead right between his eyes. And he screeches bloody murder and starts flailing. It was the funniest thing.
I believe it. Oh, man. You've lived quite the life, Siren. Let me ask you this. What's one of your most proudest moments? Something you're especially proud of?
My proudest moment came after... Well, I dropped out of high school due to a lot of complications and was homeschooled for a good while. So I'd say that my proudest moment was, even though I dropped out and due to those same extenuating circumstances, I failed my first semester at uni, I was able to pull it back and graduate with an above the class average.
Well. So in that moment, what were you thinking? What were you thinking in that moment?
I wanted to prove that I wasn't a pity case. You know, I may have fallen on some rough times, but that didn't mean that I was hopeless, that I was incapable.
Damn right. But that's very admirable, Siren. That's very admirable. All right. Now let me ask you this. So, are you naturally beautiful and lovely, or is that something you have to work on?
Are you just intent on seeing how much you can make me blush? Because the having pale skin is working against me right now. It feels like I have a permanent case of sunburn.
That doesn't answer the question, though.
You're going to make me all shy and stuttery, and I'm gonna have to hide my face under my blanket. And...
Nonsense! You can't hide from the truth.
I'm not good at dealing with compliments, okay?
Oh, so I should compliment you more?
No.
All right. How about we lighten the mood? Are you ready for some silly bullshit questions?
Oh dear, here we go. I can only imagine what your devious mind has conjured up.
Oh. Okay. Say we're having a natural apocalypse, like tsunamis, tornadoes, earthquakes, world's falling apart. How would you survive? What would you do?
Well, which disaster is it?
All of them.
All of them.
It's all the disasters rolled up into one.
Let's see. I would build an impenetrable treehouse.
How would you do that?
I don't know.
I'll take it. Okay. All right. So, Siren, ass or tits?
I feel like everyone appreciates boobs. They're just fun.
Fair. I'll take it. Damn. Yeah. Well, usually people it takes them a while to ponder over it, but no. Yeah. Good answer. Yeah, I'll take it. So, tell me, you're given an impossible math equation. How would you try to fool the person you need to hand this into?
Let's see. I'm pants at maths. An impossible equation.
Aye, you can't solve it, but you need to hand this in. What do? How would you fool the person you need to hand this into?
I would quote Alice in Wonderland saying, I eat at least 6 impossible things before breakfast and write down a bunch of fancy numbers.
That works. That absolutely works. Okay, now, say you've become Empress Goddess of the world. You are now in total control. What will you do first?
Fix the coral reefs.
Really? Why is that?
I mean, the ocean is one of the last vastly unexplored treasures that the world has, and, well, the ocean can't really survive without coral reefs and all they provide.
Very true. That's very noble of you. Oh my god, you're so precious. Oh, that's so noble.
You're making the blushing happen again.
Good, you should. That's so wonderful. You're wonderful. Oh man, that's so selfless of you. That's so selfless. Good on you.
I wanted to be a marine biologist as a child, but I wanted to be one of the ones that actually, went out to the water and swam and interacted. But when I had my accident with my shoulder, I can't swim as well as I used to, but I still want to do what I can for the ocean.
I know these are supposed to be silly bullshit questions, but I think I have to revert back to personal questions. What happened with your shoulder?
Well, it was just after my final exams at university. It had been raining that night, and we had a wide set of stairs with a railing on one side and then hard tile at the bottom of the floor. And I slipped on one of the steps and kind of curled into myself to protect my head, so my left shoulder took the majority of the impact. And being my stubborn self, I didn't think that I'd really done anything to it. I just thought that it was hurting, so I continued on with what I was doing. I'm sure, as any of you know who've gone to university, carrying textbooks around is a heavy, heavy job. And then about a year later, when it hadn't stopped hurting, I went to have an MRI, and they said that I had torn my labrum, which is basically the little bit of connective tissue between your shoulder and the rotator cuff, and that I developed something called multidirectional instability, which in layman's terms means that my joints are too loose. So if I move that particular arm in the wrong angle, it will partially dislocate and make a loud, nasty clicking sound, and I can't really handle overhead motions anymore, so I can't swim the proper way where you do one arm over the other.
I'm so sorry, Siren. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. They said it'll probably be a lifelong injury unless I get surgery to basically manually tighten my joints back up. But
So what you're saying is everyone watching and listening right now should donate as much money as they possibly can to you.
No.
Yes.
You're impossible. You know that? You're impossible and incorrigible and...
I try.
Like I said, I'm more than used to living with it by now.
I understand. Still, you have my deepest sympathies, and if there's anything I can do to help, or if there's anything anybody watching right now can do to help, you just let us know.
I'm terrible at accepting help.
Aw, too bad. You're gonna have to get used to it.
Is this what being friends with you is going to mean?
What? Love? Admiration? Assistance? Wealth? Maybe?
I get to make sure that you eat then, and if not, I'll be cross with you and crash your recording software.
Oh, I see how it is. That's an inside joke for those of you who don't understand what this is about. Alright. Okay, one last joke bullshit question. What do you think about Canadians?
I think you're the first one I've met, and I quite like you.
Oh! I'm blessed. Thank you. Oh, man.
But you have scary moose.
I have what?
You have scary moose up there.
Oh, moose! Oh, the moose! They're fine. They won't hurt you. Why are you scared of the moose?
They crush cars!
It's not intentional. Okay, it's somewhat intentional depending on the moose, but like they're harmless for the most part.
Aren't they, like, really scary during mating season?
We don't talk about moose mating season here. That we leave them to that. That's their business. We don't interfere for our own sakes. Okay, now we've come to the tail end of the interview, and I'd like to do something a little special and a little different here. Siren, how do you feel about asking me some questions? Can be as serious or as silly as you like.
How long have you lived in Canada?
Whole life. Okay, technically not whole life. I was born in a Chicago hospital, but outside of, like, I don't know, the first few hours, if not days of my life, most in Canada. Most in Canada. So I'd say 22, 23 years?
Fair enough. What did you do before YouTube?
I was a high school student.
Okay, what did you see yourself doing out of high school?
Ooh, boy. Well, it's high school, so you have a million things in your head. Like, the biggest thing, I want to be a video game developer. That's how you say that. That's proper English. I found out that being a video game developer is actually a terrible job. Not as in the work is bad, but it's backbreaking. Pay can be bad. Horrible crunch. And it's very, very difficult to get in. So I have, I still have a passion for video games, and maybe one day try to get something in the video game industry. I don't know. I've always had a passion for video games, but I guess now, after all this YouTube work, and I also have a part-time job doing renovations. So I build houses, take them down, and stuff like that. So there's a lot of possibilities for me now. For now, I see a lot of roads ahead of me I could take.
I'm just now realizing you can't see me nodding my head. Why do you enjoy making me blush so bloody much?
Because I like you, and I want to help you with your confidence.
I hate blushing. It takes forever to go away.
I don't see what's so wrong about that.
Well, I already have a tendency of hiding behind my hair, and this just makes me blend in.
That's adorable.
No, it's not. Do you know how many times I've been called an anime girl just because my hair covers one eye?
Oh, that's incredible! That's amazing! That just makes you all the more endearing!
I'm not helping myself here. What's your all-time favorite meal?
Apple pie. Apple pie. In the end, it has to come down to apple pie. I can't resist apple pie. That is my weakness. That is my weakness. You want me to do something for you, just offer me apple pie, and I'll do it. Oh, it's so good. Apple pie. Fuck, I wish I had some apple pie right now.
What would you say is the strangest interview you've done?
Oh boy. No matter what I say, I'm going to rub some feathers. The strangest interview I've done. Define strange, though. Strange in, like, how it was made in the conversations.
And that it left you saying what the fuck afterwards.
Oh, okay. Huh. Chekhov's interview. The interview with Chekhov.
That does not surprise me.
That dude is animated. He is animated, he is quick-witted, and goddamn, he can just... That man can talk for hours, and I'd love to talk to him for hours. Like, the way he spins ideas and spits them out.
Oh yeah, he's very high energy.
Ah, yes.
Do you have a specific kind of work that you're apt to follow the most? Like, check in on new projects?
Huh. Sorry, can you repeat that? I think I misunderstood.
Like, do you have a specific category of voice work that you follow? Like, parodies, NSFW stuff, video game stuff, anime dubs?
Oh, well, just recently I've been looking into everything concerning voice acting. Like, whether it's for cartoons, video games, even puppeteering. Even puppet work, sometimes, like, puppeteers and, like, oh, man, the stuff puppeteers can do, like, not just, like, animating a character with their hands, but also voicing the character. Like, oh, man. There's really impressive stuff all around. Just the people who are able to bring characters to life with their voice, or with their, or with whatever they have at their disposal. Like, I just have such a deep appreciation for that. Like, so just voice acting in general. Like, nothing specific, just voice acting all around, I adore.
I caught myself nodding my head again.
That's so cute. That's so adorable.
No,
yes.
no. Do not use the evil C word.
What? Cute? You don't like being called cute?
No. Ugh.
Oh, what's wrong, Siren? You can't stand being cute, Siren?
I will hit you with the largest rolled up newspaper I can find. I am not cute. Not in the slightest. What is your apocalyptic weapon of choice, found or handmade?
Ooh, that's a good one. It's a tough choice. Because one, I'm terrible at range. Like, I've tried archery, suck at it. I have terrible... I guess what you call depth of field, I guess? Like, I play... Depth perception, yes. Like, I play darts... And I'm just very lucky at darts because, like, trying to actually, like, hit specifically where you want, like, getting my arm motions to make the proper motion to, like, throw something or shoot something correctly.
The follow-through.
Yeah, the follow-through. Like, I'm just terrible at that. So, on one hand, like, there's ranged weaponry like a crossbow during Apocalypse. A crossbow, like, because, reusable arrows and stuff like that. That would be very useful, but I'd suck at aiming and shooting, so... Maybe a melee weapon, but I'm not sure what, because there's a lot of shit that's dangerous and I could hurt myself with, so... That's a tough one. I guess a hatchet? Because hatchet is multi-purposed?
Yeah, I can see that.
You can chop wood. It can, it can basically chop. It can help you chop wood, like break locks, whatever you need it for.
I'm trying to What is that zombie game where you're in a mall and you can create all sorts of crazy weaponry?
Dead Rising. Dead Rising.
Dead Rising. Yeah, you could go the Dead Rising route and use a giant dildo.
Oh my god! I see where your mind's at.
I don't think it would be very effective, but it might shock some of the zombies.
Oh yes! Oh yes! Who knows, some might even like it. Well, Siren, that has been an interview. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. I deeply appreciate it. You have been an absolute delight. Now, if anyone wants to go find you and support you, follow you, give you money, where do they go?
The easiest place to find me would be at twitter.com/Sirena Shadow. That is the main Twitter account that I tend to check the most.
And?
And what?
You have a patron!
I do, but I get weird about asking people to donate, okay? I feel awkward.
Why would you feel awkward? It's money!
I'm just an awkward person.
Nah, nonsense. So, links for everything Siren will be in the description and in the comment section. Her Twitter and her Patreon that you can go donate on. And now we've come to the part of the interview where I threaten you all, the audience, with physical violence unless you go follow and support Siren here. Siren, what do you think we should threaten the audience with to go and support you?
Are you capable of physical violence?
Good timing by your dog right there.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. What do you mean, am I capable?
You're just, like, a sweet, soft marshmallow.
Oh, well, I am if it involves protecting and helping the ones I love.
I just can't see you being violent.
Fair. That's fair. What about you, though? I mean, you scared people for a living.
The most creative threat I think I've ever come up with was disemboweling someone with an egg beater wrapped in barbed wire that was soaked in lemon juice.
You hear that, everybody? Siren's coming for you.